Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is FitzHogan11. Welcome to the ROM Hack of the Year Awards for 2014 for all beta hacks. So these are hacks that have around 2 to 5 gyms of gameplay and have a decent amount of gameplay. So they're not complete games, but they are not games that are in early alpha mode or haven't had a release yet. Things like Pokemon Platinum Red, for example, if you guys have heard of that game, that doesn't really have enough gameplay to be considered for this particular award, but it does have a potential to be on the hacks to look forward to in 2015 video, which should be coming up soon. So soon after this. So anyway, we're going to get to the 3 nominees that I have selected for today. Now, the one ROM hack that I do want to mention before I get started is that didn't make this list is Pokemon Cyan, made by Crunch on Poke Community. It's a very good ROM hack. It has, I think, 4 gyms, and it's very well made, but it just wasn't able to beat out the 3 on this list, so if I had expanded the list to 5, definitely would have been on there. I'm sure you guys can think of some beta hacks that I might have not mentioned today, and you might feel is more deserving, so let me know in the comments. I'm ready for a fun comment section for this video. So there's a lot of beta hacks out there. I'm sure I might have missed one that was worked on in 2014, so let me know in the comments. Anyway, coming in at number 3 is Pokemon Maze. It is a Pokemon Red ROM hack, which is made by Shantytown on Poke Community. The only on this list that isn't 3rd gen a ROM hack. So most people don't really play Pokemon Red ROM hacks, and so its popularity is definitely lower. If you haven't watched my previous video, these hacks are being graded on 3 scales: gameplay, which is like replayability or level curve, and then overall storyline, graphics, pretty self-explanatory, mapping systems, overworlds, everything like that, and then popularity, the amount of times it's been played, the amount of people talking about it, how often it's talked about, things like that. So for gameplay, Pokemon Maze did receive an 8. For storyline, there isn't a ton of storyline in the game yet. We haven't really developed a character yet. And the evil team is Team Corey. They're destroying the Earth, as you could imagine from their name, if you haven't watched the videos. So, I mean, I guess environmental issues should be brought to the forefront more often, but you know, Team Corey we haven't seen a leader yet. We haven't really seen much from them. And then the level curving for the game, it's pretty good, actually. It's very decent. You know, the game is difficult, but not too difficult. They have a Nuzlocke mode instituted, which does boost the gameplay grade up, by the way. But, so obviously it's possible to defeat this game in the Nuzlocke mode, so it's not impossible, but it's a good challenge. So it does receive an 8 for gameplay, very steady, above average for a beta hack. For graphics, it receives an 8.5. It's definitely it doesn't feel like Pokemon Red at all. It's definitely a big step forward, I would say, from Pokemon Red. It's got a lot of cool features that are kind of in the graphics and kind of in the gameplay section, so it boosts both of their grades. Everything from shiny Pokemon in Generation 1 to, let me think, to roaming birds, roaming legendaries, which is pretty insane. So the graphics does receive an 8.5. I don't know if I already said that or not, but it's on screen. The graphics are a huge step up, but it's not quite as good as one of the other hacks on this list, which I think is one of the best looking hacks that I've ever seen. So it's not a 9 or a 10, but it's definitely very, very close. And for popularity, I had to give it only a 5. It is on Hack Studio on Poke Community if you are an active member. Most progressing hacks are on the progressing hacks section, while Maze is on the Hack Studio because there is a lot of features in this game, a lot of things to talk about, and a lot of things that no other hack has right now. but people don't talk about it enough, and I don't know why. It's unfortunate. The creator of the game is very active on that thread. He'll always respond to questions and stuff, which is pretty awesome. I don't know. I think it'll be more popular in the near future, as games like Pokemon Prism kind of bring attention to the older generations of ROM hacking. I think people get more interested in it. I think maybe my age is more interested in these games than maybe a younger person who started with Pokemon Platinum or something instead of Pokemon Red or Yellow. So Pokemon Maze ends up with a grade of 21.5, which I found to be higher than any other grade that I could give any other beta ROM hack besides the two that are above it on this list. So it does come in third place, received the bronze, so pretty good showing for Pokemon Maze this year. So coming in at number 2 on the list is Pokemon Gaia, I believe is how to pronounce it. I think in my videos I always pronounced it as Gaia, I don't know. But anyway, it's made by Spherical Ice on Poke Community. It's a Fire Red hack, and Spherical Ice, I believe, is a moderator on that site, which is pretty cool. So he's definitely helped a lot of people out on the site with tools and resources and stuff for their own Fire Red hacks, or any hacks really. But he also made Pokemon Cobalt, if you want to check out that game. But for Pokemon Gaia, I'm gonna just call it that for this video. It is a 2-gym beta, and it looks fantastic. That's the biggest part of this game, and people love talking about it. So we're going to get into grades real quick. Gameplay, I gave it an 8. It was a very fun game to play. There was a little bit of backtracking, which I guess helps for more storyline, so I understand why a creator might put it in, but when you do have people backtracking in a game, you want to make it feel like they're not backtracking, and at times I did feel like I was just going back for no reason in particular, which does hurt the grade a little bit, and the fact that it's kind of one of the shorter beta releases out there, since it does only cover 2 gyms, whereas Pokemon Maze covers 4, and the next one has a lot of gameplay to it as well. So it's not a perfect grade for gameplay, but it's very high up there. There's a lot of good things to talk about. The level curving is fine, and it's actually pretty tough at certain points. But anyway, those Smeargles were a pain in the butt. But anyway, we're going to move on to graphics. It receives the highest grade for a beta hack, 9.5 out of 10. I'm going to show a few images, I believe, right about now, from the screenshots on the thread that are posted on Poke Community, and they look amazing. The creator must have put an enormous amount of time to create these graphics, so really props to him. It might be one of the best looking ROM hacks of all time when it's all said and done, on par with how Dark Violet looked, I would say. It's just a shorter version of it, so it does receive a 9.5 out of 10. Not perfect just yet, but it's getting there. It's definitely getting there. So for popularity, I gave it an 8. It's one of the most talked about ROM hacks in terms of beta releases. Usually beta releases, there's a very large contingent of people who aren't willing to play a beta. They wait for the final version. So Gaia does get a lot of a lot of people playing the game, and a lot of people talking about it, just not as much as maybe a final release, and definitely not as much as the final, the number 1 game on this list, which we'll get to in a second. But overall, Gaia geez, gets a 25.5 out of 30, which is very good. Second place showing, definitely has the potential to be Hack of the Year one day. I believe Cobalt almost won, or maybe it did win, I don't know, a few years back. So creators definitely aiming for a first place prize in the next couple of years. So moving on to the number 1 spot, what you guys have all been waiting for is Ruby Destiny Broken Timeline, made by Destined Jagold, I believe that's how you say his name, on Poke Community. He has also made 3 other ROM hacks. This is the 4th installment in the series of Ruby Destiny games. In no particular order, he has also made Reign of Legends, Rescue Rangers, and something else that I can't remember at this point, but it's probably going to be flashing on screen right now. So for Broken Timeline, it's technically a 2 or 3 gym beta, but there is a point in the story where you split off and you can choose to continue your adventure in either Kanto, Johto, maybe Hoenn, and then 2 of the other regions from the other games, I believe, maybe 3 of the other regions from the other 3 games that the creator has already made. So there's a lot of gameplay and replayability to these games, since each path has a slightly different story. I've only focused on Kanto on my YouTube Let's Play so far, but I'll probably get to the other regions at some point in the future. It's just that I haven't really had time to do so yet. So for gameplay, I'm giving Ruby Destiny a 9, which is higher than the other 2 hacks on this list. It's not perfect. You know, the creator doesn't have NPCs really in the game, and as much as most NPCs are kind of useless, it is kind of refreshing to talk to people. I definitely interact with as many things in a Pokemon game or Pokemon ROM hack as I can. So it definitely felt weird playing without NPCs, so it definitely hurt the grade a little bit, or NPCs that don't really talk or say anything. They just say the same things over and over. There were no houses to go into, really. So there really wasn't anything to find outside of this main storyline, which kind of hurts the grade a little bit, but not too much. So for graphics, I gave Ruby Destiny an 8. It was definitely about as good as Maze, but not quite at Gay's level. It looks good. Everything is solid, but it's just not perfect. It's kind of like Adventure Red if we're comparing. That it's very, very good. It's just missing the wow factor, I guess, on graphics. And then popularity, it's definitely a 10. People talk about Ruby Destiny series all the time, and Broken Timeline is no different. People are definitely having a lot of fun with it, and it's definitely one of my most watched videos, the Ruby Destiny series, and I only have a couple of videos on it. So Ruby Destiny ends up with a final score of 27, averaging 9. That's pretty good, and it definitely has potential with 5 different regions to explore to be Hack of the Year in the future. Definitely has a great chance, really, if the final release, I'm guessing it'll probably be in 2016. 2015 seems a little hard to reach at this point, but we'll see. You never know with Dust Ninja Gold. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this recording, this episode, and I definitely had fun making it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think. I'm sure there'll be some people saying I was wrong, which is fine. Definitely ready to respond to some comments. So thank you guys, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.